Texas sheet cake, big fudgy cake, crackling glaze on top with pecans. So many people love it and unfortunately feel guilty about eating it. Well, I have created a version that you're gonna feel really good about eating. Here's how we do it. First, I'm gonna take this jelly roll pan and coat it with some nonstick spray. Then I'm gonna put some flour on top and just tap the pan so that the flour gets everywhere. And I'm gonna set this to the side and let's start making our cake. First in goes the flour, sugar, baking soda, cinnamon, and salt. A great way to blend all the dry ingredients together is to use a whisk. All right, my dry ingredients are all together. So now let's make some cocoa. Putting some water in a pan with butter and cocoa. I'm gonna stir this together as it becomes a fudgy sauce. You wanna keep stirring so that cocoa doesn't burn. All right, we got a nice chocolate sauce now. I'm gonna put this into the flour. Now you can combine this by hand or use beaters, whatever works best for you. Now with all that butter, flour, and sugar, you're probably wondering, how did you lighten up the recipe? Well, here's a great ingredient, buttermilk. Naturally low in fat, thick and rich and gives great flavor. Vanilla, and 2 large eggs. You always want to use large eggs for baking. That's what baking recipes are based on. Now I'm just gonna break up these yolks. Of course, you can use a hand mixer, but I like doing things like this by hand. It's always good to get a little exercise in the kitchen. Also, you want to keep your cakes tender. Be careful not to overmix. Sometimes if you use electric mixers, that can happen more easily. All right, looks good. Now you can see this is a nice loose batter, perfect for pouring into this jelly roll pan. Now you just want to push this batter out all the way to the corners. Now I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven for 17 minutes. Be precise about the time. You want your cake to cook evenly. While the cake's in the oven, we can make the glaze. First in, butter, milk, and cocoa. Just like before, I'm going to whisk this until everything's combined. Great, now that that's come to a boil, we can add the rest of the ingredients. First, confectioner's sugar. You can add a little bit at a time and mix it in. Confectioner's sugar is what you use to make most kinds of glazes. A little bit of liquid and a lot of confectioner's sugar. Now, pecans and vanilla. This is that classic Texas sheet cake crackly glaze. And you want to be sure to put this on your cake as soon as it comes out of the oven. This smells great, like cocoa and cinnamon. All right, let's glaze it. You can help the glaze along and into the corners with a spatula. The glaze spreads much more easily on a hot cake. What's nice about this cake is because it's so thin, you can have a nice big piece. Cake is nice and cool and ready for slicing. So there it is, Texas sheet cake. Light, fudgy with that crackly pecan glaze. You are gonna love making this. For more recipes like this, visit cookinglight.com.